By the early 1980s, hip hop was widespread in the Bronx and was a massive piece of Black youth and counterculture. One of the groups that gained notoriety throughout the borough was the Furious Five, led by Grandmaster Flash, one of the genre's most coveted pioneers in DJing, shaping the sound and revolutioning the way hip hop music was produced and performed. As a result of Flash's newfound fame, the Furious Five was in the spotlight at the perfect time the message was released in 1982. Prior to the release of the track, the Bronx was on fire and burning. Plagued by widespread poverty, constant arson, and the general decline in quality of life, the borough was the face of government failure in the backdrop of the Reagan administration. It was the perfect seed for a social movement. Enter Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five with their groundbreaking song, The Message, in 1982. Their song was a realistic, gritty, and introspective display of current situation in the Bronx and its marginalized people. It struck a chord with people of the community who feel their pain was finally being broadcast to not only themselves, but a whole country that was unaware of the social and economic standing of the Bronx during the 1980s. It was a paradigm shifting moment with hip hop transitioning from a niche party centric culture to a fully conscious movement that would be used to unite the people in struggle to fight back against the powers that held them in their conditions. After the message was released, the floodgates opened to a new era of hip hop known as reality conscious rap, with a heavy emphasis on social commentary and Black empowerment. One of the original pioneers that led this newfound movement was Public Enemy, fronted by Chuck D and Flavor Flav. Their lead album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, was the voice of the new generation, blunt and empowered to start creating real change in systemic racism. This was highlighted in standout tracks such as Don't Believe the Hype and Fight the Power, with strong imagery and allusions to the Black Panther Party and the teachings of Malcolm X. There was a different form of revolution happening on the other side of the country. From Compton, California, NWA exploded onto the scene with their debut album, Straight Outta Compton, which was straight, gritty gangster rap, later coined reality rap by frontman Ice Cube. Their music shined light on the lives of Black youth living in the system and tackled it with aggression and harsh realities, such as references and allusions to gang violence, poverty, and police brutality. No better example of their controversy than F the Police, a standout track from their debut album that had the FBI sending warnings to the group to cease performances, as well as many police forces not providing security at performances and arresting the members if the song was performed in county. Despite tackling the matter from two different ideologies, both groups were a part of the early explosion of hip hop that not only pushed the genre to become a cultural and national powerhouse, but a strong political and social movement coming from Black America. Running parallel to the rise of hip hop power was the rise of Black platforms and networks that had a strong role in showcasing and pushing Black voices and narratives. An example of these alternate networks was BET, that was established in 1980 to promote Black commentary and art. They often hosted different hip hop forums, whether it be music videos or interviews for artists such as Public Enemy, KRS-One, and Common, all artists committed to Black commentary and social activism. A more contemporary inclusion would be the founding of Revolt by Sean Combs in 2013. Revolt's mission statement was to create a space to push Black thought and have genuine expressions of self without the fear of censorship or watering down for a white audience.
My name is Arya, and I will be going more into depth about the apparent struggles of the African American community depicted throughout the hip hop industry, and we can focus more on a recent example of musical artists speaking out. This is America was a song created by Childish Gambino in which he releases a powerful message that tackles the issues of gun violence, racial inequality, and the portrayal of Black culture in America. Not only does he share his perspective through his words, but the accompanying music video was what left a stronger impact on the audience, forcing them to confront uncomfortable truths. The director of the music video, Hiro Murai, does a brilliant job of showcasing a series of different chaotic events that take place in the real world, as well as a collection of different dances which heavily focus on the expression of their emotions through their movements. In the music video, the reenactment of unfortunate historical events highlights the pervasive nature of gun violence, the media's preoccupation with irrelevancies, as well as the dehumanization of African American individuals. The accompanying dances were also included to serve as a symbolic representation of the stories being told in the music video. Initially, we see Childish Gambino dancing, where the change in his movement and facial expressions depict the chaotic spiraling of America and its beliefs. In addition, the choreographer of this video Sherry Silver, drew inspiration from various African American dance styles, which display the appreciation towards the joy, spirit, and resilience of the African American community and what they carry. The dancing and the recreation of these events were intertwined throughout the entire music video to portray the juxtaposition between America's reality versus their distractions. Childish Gambino is one of the many artists who did an amazing job releasing a message to the world to be more aware of what America as a country should strive for: equality. In addition, hip hop was originally created as a platform for Black artists to share and create a name for their lyrical work. We know that it serves as a creative but allegorical way to spread awareness through storytelling, addressing social issues, and celebrating cultural heritage. However, more recently, there has been given more attention towards the use of rap lyrics to incriminate a person during their trial. What was first created to promote creativity amongst their community was now being used against them to incriminate them. The use of rap lyrics as evidence raises concerns about the violation of the First Amendment, which is the right to the freedom of speech. While rap is predominantly associated with African American culture, relying on it perpetuates racial bias and contributes to the unfair treatment within the criminal justice system. This goes to show that America is not fully moving forward with showing support for other communities as the justice system continues to attack the African American culture for their advantages. To go to the extent of trying to establish a connection between the artists and their work proves that people still view these parts of their culture in a negative light. So, in conclusion, hip hop should be looked up to as an artistic element of the Black community, and that is something that is shared throughout the country to bring others together, not to bring others down for their musical abilities. Thank you.
Hip hop brought immense change to the music industry and what it meant to be expressive through lyrics. Though the term hip hop is referring to the background beat of rap music, the newly created melodies brought about musical discoveries that would become historically significant in the industry. The song Rapper's Delight sparked the genre that encouraged young artists and children of the Black community to speak on social issues. Rapper's Delight, along with the influence of Africa Bambaataa, is what sparked the use of scratching or moving a record back and forth under the needle to create new music using old songs as the source. In present day, scratching, or a form of it, is still a popular method for creating new music using vintage hits as the backbone, demonstrating how influential the hip hop nation was and remains to be in the world of music and its creations. Rap music has often utilized its voice to tell the stories of African American life and how the government and white society had their lives on a tightrope hold. The presence of current political and social issues within the lyrics stemmed from African slaves and their creation of rhymes and songs to communicate and spread word. African Bambaataa developed a political version of rap. He essentially merged the ideology of Islam with the Black Panthers' cultural nationalism and demand for political and social freedoms. Bambaata's Zulu Nation encouraged friendly competition in breakdancing, rapping, and graffiti art in Black communities, and helped to enhance rap's presence in poor Black and Latino neighborhoods. His efforts brought a sense of kinship between cultured communities and their shared difficulties when faced with the white man's power. In addition to the presence of hip hop music in different communities, the physical struggle of African American communities were shared with their neighbors as they watched violence engulf their homes and daily lives. Hip hop became the most important cultural movement to the use of African American society, as their presence was often ignored and not taken into account as political change occurred. Their lives were still burdened by violence in their neighborhoods and schools as they faced constant attacks and ridicule, which were the focus topics of these new rap hits. Hence, their gravitation toward the music that brought light to the struggle they were living through every day.
In Black people's lives is through their Black identities. Rap music is a response to acutely visible injustice. To begin with, rap music has started to gain significant popularity during the 1980s. This time period was also known as the Golden Age of Rap. During this time, there were many cases of legal injustice, and in order to make these cases more known, many artists had used their lyrics to address political issues. An example of this time period with injustice was the Reagan administration, because many of the economic policies Reagan had implemented at the time was to benefit the wealthy and corporations. Other reasons why rap music was a response to visible injustice was because many rap artists had used their music to express the realities that marginalized communities had to go through. Some of these issues that they face could be about racism, police brutality, and social inequality. Rap music gave people the power to amplify their voices when they are often marginalized or silenced. This gives them the chance to express their perspectives. Hip hop has also had a great effect on many young people in a positive and negative way. In addition, hip hop can be a form of empowerment and self expression for many young people, where they can share their creativity and stories. Many young people can find empowerment through sharing their thoughts and ideas. Hip hop also speaks about many social and political issues, which can help young people become not only more aware, but possibly active in making changes to these issues. Some young people don't have a strong community, and therefore, hip hop can act as a tool to bring individuals together who have similar interests. This creates a space for connections, support, and empowerment for them. Lastly, hip hop can also open up new career opportunities. An example of a song that brings positive effects to society and young people is a song by Kendrick Lamar called Alright. This song spreads a message about police brutality, racial inequality, and systemic oppression. With themes about empowerment and unity, it encourages listeners to push through and to have a sense of optimism when facing adversity. Secondly, some negative effects of rap or hip hop would be elements that promote misogyny, materialism, and negative stereotypes of people. Sometimes songs can portray these negative effects due to misunderstandings of the culture's history. Materialism in songs can also often mislead young people's mindsets to have expectations or unrealistic beliefs. Most of these can stem from a misunderstanding of the subjects. An example of a negative effect song would be Bitch Better Have My Money by Rihanna. There were a few critics that talked about the song and how it portrays ideas about materialism and in some ways can create negative stereotypes of women by objectifying them. Not all songs have a positive or negative connotation, but it's good to be aware of the messages that they could portray. Rappers also tell a story about their lives through the lyrics of their songs. Rappers use lyrics to express stories about their lives and what they are experiencing at the moment. They often do this through the use of characters and conflicts that they incorporate into the song. An example of this would be Joyner Lucas's single, I'm Not Racist. In the song, he talks about stereotypes society has formed about two races, and expressing difficult topics like this can lead to more awareness about America and its issues and how some people are being treated. Sometimes raps like these can start difficult conversations for people who are too afraid to speak about them and can often lead to positive changes.